Hi, my soap-obsessed friends. Welcome back to Lattes and Love Stories, episode 2. It's been a while. I don't have an excuse for that. Today we are going to be talking about Days of Our Lives, January 4th, 1984. If you see me looking down at my iPad here, it's because I have notes written down of what I'd like to discuss today in the episode, so it's more in order and succinct than me just rambling on. I've tried this a few other times before, and I never kept up with it. So I'm planning on it this time, although I said that the last 3 times, so we will try. I'm not the type of person that enjoys being on camera, so that's why I haven't really kept up with it, but I'm trying to get in the mindset of enjoying it because I want to enjoy it with all of you, and this is a great way to do that. So, stage fright aside, I'm really looking forward to this. I'd like to start out each video talking about my drink of the day. You will often hear me refer to it as my energy of the day. It doesn't mean that I'm drinking an energy drink necessarily, although I do that sometimes. It could mean tea, coffee, energy drinks. Those 3 are normally the things that I drink. And they will be in a coldest cup. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but coldest cups are this amazing brand. You can get them in several different colors and designs. They are 100% leak proof, and they hold ice for 36 hours straight. I love mine. I have 2 of them. This one's water. The first one I showed you was actually my drink of the day. I have one special drink every day that keeps me going. And then I try to drink one of those of water every day. This bottle is currently filled with a chai tea that I made on my own. It's half chai, half oat milk. The brand that I use is Barista Lovers. I love that one. I think it's Oatly oat milk, if I believe, or if I remember correctly. And then I do a half ounce of Torani cinnamon brown sugar syrup and a half ounce of Torani white chocolate syrup with each portion. So that has 2 servings of my drink because it stays cold, so that takes me about 3 days to drink my special drink in one of those bottles, and it keeps ice the whole time. So each week when I do one of these, I will tell you my recipe for the drink. Maybe sometimes I will take a video of myself doing, actually making the drink. All of my drinks except for the energies, if I ever happen to have an energy on one of these, are made by me. My energies will be made by 7 Brew. When I first started this series, it was supposed to be soaps and 7 Brew, but I stopped going to 7 Brew all the time because it's very expensive. So now I make all my stuff at home, and I'm kind of shifting the way that I do these videos because of that. I also haven't figured out the logistics of recording myself while I make a coffee. So as I get better at this, that will start happening. So to start out, today I told you we're talking about January 4th of 1984. Each episode of Lattes and Love Stories will follow the next episode in succession, or I'm also planning on doing GH at the same time. So some of them will be days and some of them will be GH. I will then continue to have One Life to Live. I have Casualty, which is one of my favorite British soaps. So all of that will eventually be added in there, but I'm trying to take it slow so I'm more consistent in doing it. So this episode starts out with Anna leaving the secret passage room in the library when she and Roman were hiding out. She wanted to go shopping. as you get to know Anna, you know it's very an Anna thing to do. She's very she likes to keep her appearance high, and she still cares about Roman, even though Roman's married to Marlena. And so she thought she could sneak out of the library without setting an alarm off. And as you'll see as we talk about more in this episode, that's not going to happen. The alarm goes off, and Roman finds her sneaking out and is able to bring her back into the secret room behind the bookshelves where they're hiding. For those of you that need a refresher, he's hiding because he's being accused of the murders, and she's hiding with him in order to try to help him clear his name. There's like a serial killer right now that's killing people, and they think it's him. Even like Marlena, which is his wife, thinks it's him because people have seen him, but really it's a lookalike pretending to be him, and we don't know who it is yet. Marlena believes he had a mental breakdown, and she's looking for him to try to help him get his life back together, when we know that he didn't, and he's actually trying to find who did. The next scene is Marlena sits with Don for a minute while he eats. Eugene walks in, and Don leaves them while he needs to go make a phone call. Eugene brings up his cousin Letitia, who's into the dark arts and voodoo and stuff, which is going to tie into the rest of the storyline. Now, if you remember the last episode, it was mostly Bo and Hope centered. Doug had a heart attack. So this episode picks up with that. Doug is in the middle of a medical crisis, and they panic and call for help, and Neil is trying to revive him. They get him back, but Neil warns them that he is very critical, and anything that could upset him could kill him, because he's very sick. So they need to make sure that he stays as calm as possible, which upsets Hope because she feels like it's her fault. A theme of this storyline is that Hope thinks it's her fault, Bo stays away because he thinks it's his fault, and Larry pushes his way in to take advantage of a vulnerable Hope. And also Julie believes it's Hope's fault as well, so she's blaming her. Because this is a video and I'm going over the storylines, I also want to give a little bit of an opinion on how I feel on some of this stuff. Julie, I hate Julie. I know a lot of people like Julie, and I don't blame you for it necessarily. Everyone has their own opinions, but Julie is just the most annoying, judgmental person on the planet. I understand that she's upset that her husband is sick, but her husband overreacted, and she's putting blame on Hope, who just turned 18, so she doesn't deserve to have that on her shoulders. She's an adult that gets to make her own decisions, and whether they think it's right or wrong, she still has the right to do so. And the fact that he got stressed out and had a heart attack, maybe he shouldn't have followed her when she told him not to. Obviously you know what you're gonna walk in. I'm not saying it's his fault, but it's not her fault either. So Julie can shove it. Sorry. When Roman and Anna go back into the secret room, he starts yelling at her and saying why would she make such a stupid decision and risk everything just to leave for a little while. This is when she admits that she wanted to go shopping because she was out of clean clothes and cream rinse. Cream rinse? So he said, "You're risking our lives for cream rinse," which I kind of agree with that. She then admits that she wants to look nice for him because she still has feelings for him. For those of you who weren't watching at the time, Anna and Roman were a couple. not while the show was happening. So this was supposedly happening off screen. Anna went missing and was presumed dead. So Roman moved back to town, married Marlena, and then finds out that he has a daughter named Carrie, which is Anna's daughter, that she didn't tell him about. And then Anna ended up being alive. Her death was faked the whole time. So, yeah. So she never stopped loving him, and he had moved on and married Marlena, who he loves very much. And he makes that very clear that he has no interest in being with her because he loves Marlena so much. And he just needs her to believe him. So that's Anna's job, to help him get people to believe him. In the next scene, Eugene and Dawn try to assure Marlena of Roman's safety, even though the cops are out to get him. And Eugene continues talking about Letitia and the voodoo symbols. He thinks that it may have something to do with the murders, whether directly or indirectly. In the next scene, Neil convinces Julie to go take a break. She goes and sees Doug and Jolie, Alice and Tom. And then Larry convinces Hope to go out to eat, the manipulative snake that he is. He takes her to eat and then convinces her to trust him, and takes advantage of the fact that she's so vulnerable by saying that he understands how she feels. And then there was something in there about his father having a heart attack, but he didn't stop everything and go like Hope has. He continued working, and it was like a boo-hoo because I did the wrong thing and I feel bad about it now. And Hope was supposed to make him feel better about it. That was the whole plan, and she did. She fell for it hook, line, and sinker because she's 18 and she's naive. And he's 30 and an attorney, and of course he's attractive and older, and giving her attention that her boyfriend currently is choosing not to give her, which is never a good thing. In the next scene, Neil and Liz agree to meet for breakfast, but then he gets called away on an emergency, so Liz tells him she'll go and wait for him at the cafe. Then she runs into Dawn, and they agree to go together and not order food. They just wait for Neil. Neil then walks in, and he's not happy to find Liz with Dawn. Something else that you should know, for those of you who didn't watch it at the time or don't remember because it was 40 years ago, Liz was currently having amnesia problems. She had been shot, and when she woke up, she didn't remember 2 whole years of her life. So as far as she remembers, she was, I forget if Dawn and her were married or if they were just together. I'm pretty sure they were married. From what she remembers, they should still be married. But in reality, they had broken up. Dawn had fallen in love with somebody else, and Liz moved on with Neil and had Noelle. And they're now a married couple. But because she doesn't remember that, there's a huge strain because Liz wants to be with Dawn, but she's married to Neil. And Neil just wants her to get her memory back and fall in love with him again. So when he finds her in the cafe with Dawn, he is real angry, asks her to go home with him, and they have this giant fight. After the fight, Liz is left alone crying, and Neil goes back to the hospital because Doug has started to wake up. With the next scene, Eugene and Marlena decide to go to the library to investigate the voodoo symbols. Eugene has an impression or a vibe. They refer to them in both ways. That is a feeling that he gets, or a flash of something. He's intuitive, so he gets these feelings or these flashes of things. and he thinks that there's a door there, in the bookshelf, which there is. That's where Anna and Roman are hiding, and Anna and Roman can hear Marlena and Eugene talking, but as much as he wants to reveal himself to them, he can't, because he knows that they would immediately turn him in because they think he had a mental breakdown. So Eugene agrees to be moral support for Marlena. They become even closer friends through all of this, as they try to find out who killed not only her cousin but his wife. They come together to solve this. Unfortunately, Marlena thinks that Roman had a mental breakdown. I'm not exactly sure if Eugene believes the same thing. I think he's sort of on the fence. But he goes along with whatever she needs. Hope gives the table, excuse me, to try to find Bo. She just calls him on the payphone. He doesn't answer. And she's left feeling lonely. And Larry plays into that by saying that she just needs to give him some time, and maybe she should give him another try. Basically, none of this is real. He's just trying to get her to think that he's supportive, and that's his way of doing it. He really hates Bo Brady, and he doesn't really want Hope at all, but he wants her money. Because when she turned 18, she came into a lot of inheritance, and he wants that inheritance because he's money hungry, and he's an attorney, and he wants to power up in the industry, or not industry, but his line of work. Roman calls Bo once Anna tells Roman that there is access to the tunnel to the secret room in the Demira house that he had found. They had originally thought that it was cut off, access was cut off, but it turns out that there's another way in. So Roman wants to meet Bo to tell him that, among other things, because he believes that Alex Marshall was the killer. He makes Anna promise to stay there and not move. And he even takes a list of some of the shopping things she wanted, which I thought was kind of funny. They might not be together anymore, but I think he still cared about her in his own way. Not to say that he would have ever considered getting back with her. He was truly in love with Marlena. The last scene of the episode that day was Doug waking up. Hope and Julie. I wanted to say Alice. See, Julie's one of my least favorite characters, so I always forget her name. Sorry. She's a lot, when I was watching it many years later, she's a lot more likable now in her own way. And in a lot of ways still not very likable. So I'm not really a Julie person. Never have been. And in watching these, I still am not. So if you're a Julie person, I'm really sorry. But Doug wakes up with Julie and Hope next to him. And when he looks at Hope, his heart rate goes up. And he starts trying to tell her that she shouldn't be with Bo. She's shooed out of the room by Neil Curtis, and he tells her that if she wants her father to live, that she needs to stay away from him for the time being until he gets strong enough to heal. Now here's something that I never liked. Everybody, and I mean everybody, made Hope feel like this was her fault. Someone having a heart attack is not your fault. Especially when that person decides to follow you to your boyfriend's apartment to stop you from having sex with him on your 18th birthday. Not his place anymore. Yes, he's her father, but she's 18 and that's her decision to make. Secondly, Bo wouldn't ever physically hurt Hope. He could hurt her emotionally. Anyone could hurt anyone emotionally. But here was my issue. He acted like it was the most catastrophic thing to ever happen. And I understand that it's the 80s and that things were different then. And I try to take that into account as much as I possibly can, given that I'm in my early to mid 20s. Not wanting to give my age away here, but early to mid 20s. And having never lived the time period. Okay? But that being said, Bo would have never hurt Hope. She wasn't in any immediate physical danger. And he knew that. I mean, come on. He knew his family. And he had a relationship with the family. So yes, I could understand why a father would have trouble with his daughter getting older. I understand that. But acting like it's this catastrophic thing is what always bothered me. Because it wasn't. Like, yes, she's an 18-year-old girl. Yes, she may not understand the gravity of a choice like that. But it's not enough to stress yourself out over enough to have a freaking heart attack on the steps. Sorry. That's just my opinion. So, for those of you that have stuck in this long, we are 22 minutes into the video and I truly appreciate it. I hope that you'll come back for more. This is the beginning of a long journey because I want to use these videos to catalog my collection. I want to talk about the storylines, what happened that day. That's another thing. The quality of the episodes themselves. These are digital. These are from tapes turned into digital recordings. I have them uploaded to a Mega Drive, which is like a Google Drive, for those of you that don't know what Mega is. So, that being said, they're not like the most perfect quality on the planet. Okay. This particular episode, the audio is really poor. The audio wasn't really as poor as the video quality itself because you could see the little tape lines at the top of the screen and it would like jump. But that's, these are older episodes and they weren't transferred at highest quality. If you've ever seen a tape transferred at highest quality, it's gorgeous. It looks like it was just taken off of like TV nowadays. These are not like that. I am considering offering a streaming service for those of you who are interested. I will be doing these periodically. I'm shooting for once a week. I'm in college, so that's maybe not completely doable sometimes, but that's like what I'd like to do. So if you'd like to just follow along for free, I'll be doing these. If not, and you want to actually watch them yourself, I'm thinking about offering an idea of a streaming service. For those of you who follow me on other platforms, you know that I sell physical, either hard drives or flash drives or DVDs. And I sell links as well, but this would be more of a cheaper option for those of you who still want to watch. The ideal right now would be like $10 a month for access to one of my soaps, and then $5 for each extra one each month. So, if you're interested in that, I have Days for Our Lives, I have One Life to Live, I have General Hospital, I have Emmerdale, Port Charles, Casualty. That's currently like my favorite one to watch right now. It changes, but Casualty is very good, very, very good. It's better than anything medical show-wise that we have here. They have like between 45 and 50 episodes a season most of the time, whereas we used to have somewhere like 25, and now we have even less than that. So if anyone wants a good new medical show, I have a link for that as well. I may eventually start talking about that too. I'd like to do a series of these videos for each, like, soap I have, so I can, like, have archives of what I currently have. Like, instead of writing them down and listing everything out and writing it all out, these are, like, my archive. And I figured you guys would enjoy coming along with me for that. You will notice that coldest cups are mentioned a lot on this video. It's, or on this channel. It's like my favorite company, and it's how I take all my drinks now. I don't use disposable cups, I use these. They're amazing, and like I said, completely leak proof. They're also sort of in competition with Stanley. I'm doing this because, not because I'm getting paid for it now, but because hopefully one day, if enough of you enjoy it, maybe we'll all kind of benefit from it, right? I mean, they're like my favorite company, so, and they were like a small business. Two brothers started it up. So you can also get these engraved by different people, and you could like get your favorite couple name put on it, or like even maybe like a picture of them. I haven't done it yet, so I don't know much about it, and I don't know if any of you like would be interested in that, but it's definitely an option. I don't know, I enjoy it, so it'll be mentioned, and probably at the beginning of every episode. I'll have a new cup and I'll show it off with a drink in it. I'll tell you what the drink is. That'll be pretty normal. I'm trying to get myself into a place where I do things when I say I'm going to do them. So this is that. Last night before I went to sleep, I said I would do this today, and I'm doing it. So I'm not going to edit this. It's gonna go up like raw footage. I'm filming this. This video is 27 minutes long now, and I'm going to stop rambling. So if you're interested in a specific show, and I get enough of an interest depending on what that is, and I have it, I will do more videos based on interest. So like if you would prefer to see more days over GH, or more GH over days, or you want some One Life to Live mixed in there, if I get enough feedback from you guys in the comments, I will adjust filming and watching as needed to make that happen. But really, what this channel is just a fun way for you and I to go down memory lane together. And for those of you that don't have access to watch these old episodes, this is a fun way for you to still remember what it was like. If you're interested in the streaming service idea, please let me know, and I would love to do that. Right now there's a few of you interested in that on some of my other platforms, so if enough interest is gained, then I will do it. For those of my Bo and Hope fans, a lot more of you are interested than just the regular soap streaming, that you want Bo and Hope only. That can be arranged. Also, if there's enough interest. So I hope you'll join me on this journey, and that you enjoyed coming along with me today to talk about this episode in January 4th of 1984. And I will talk to you guys soon.